The auctioneer's gavel hung frozen, about to slam down when every head in the smoke-choked broken spur saloon whipped toward the shadowed corner.
A scarred hand, steady as stone, rose from the gloom, silencing the room like a gunshot.
In Widow's Gulch, the air reeked of whiskey, greed, and raw fear. Lily Harper stood on a splintered platform, her fingers clutching the frayed hem of her faded dress, her 20 years heavy with her brother's blood-soaked debts. The bidding had hit $25 when Jackal Tate, his silver tooth glinting in a crooked grin, leaned back, sure he'd claimed her. Then came that hand from the darkness. Gideon Holt hadn't spoken since slipping into the saloon, his broad frame hunched over an untouched glass of rye. His hazel eyes, sharp as a predator's, scanned the scene from beneath a battered hat. Folks whispered about him, the trapper who lived beyond Blackthorn Ridge, a ghost since a fire stole his family 5 winters past. But Lily, her chestnut braid catching the lantern's flicker, stirred something in him, something he thought was dead. Wait till the end to see why Gideon's past holds the key to this moment, and a secret that'll break your heart. Jackal's grin twisted into a sneer as he spotted Gideon's hand. He ruled Widow's Gulch, every rigged poker table, every stolen horse, every trembling soul answered to him. Well, now, Jackal's voice cut through the haze like a knife, the mountain man fancies a bid. Gideon rose, his 6'2" frame unfolding like a bear rousing from sleep. His face was unreadable, but his eyes burned, dropping the saloon's warmth 10 degrees. He pulled a worn pouch from his coat, the clink of coins echoing in the sudden quiet. $40, he said, his voice rough from years of silence but heavy with intent. The crowd stirred. $40 was a year's wage for most. Lily's breath hitched, hope and dread clawing at her chest as she studied this stranger. Savior or devil? Jackal's smile vanished. He'd planned to take Lily cheap, a trophy for his men. Now this nobody had doubled the stakes, and every eye waited for his move. What no one knew was Gideon carried secrets heavier than gold, and Jackal was about to learn how dangerous a broken man can be. But hold on, there's a twist coming that ties Gideon to Jackal in ways no one saw coming. Jackal's fingers twitched near his revolver, his pride stung. In Widow's Gulch, power came from fear, not coin, and this trapper had made him look weak. $50, he spat, voice sharp as a blade. Gideon didn't blink. $70. Gasps rippled through the saloon. Lily's legs trembled. She was livestock to these men, her life bartered in a den of wolves. Jackal's jaw clenched. He owned the livery, the brothel, even the deputy's badge, but $70 was more than he'd burn on pride. His right-hand man, Amos Reed, leaned in, whispering something that curled Jackal's scarred lip into a cruel grin. "All right, trapper," Jackal called, loud enough for all to hear, "let's play the Gulch way. You and me, outside. Winner gets the girl. Loser gets a grave." The saloon erupted in cheers. Blood was better than gold. Men shoved toward the doors, hungry for a show. Gideon's hand drifted to his side, revealing a worn holster most hadn't noticed. But his eyes held no fear, only a cold resolve that made even the drunkest outlaw pause. "I didn't come to kill," Gideon said, his voice slicing through the noise. "I came to buy her freedom." Jackal's laugh scraped like gravel. "Freedom? Here, freedom's a bullet you ain't dodged yet." Lily caught something in Gideon's tone, not lust, but conviction. This stranger was risking his life for her, and she didn't know why. As the crowd surged outside, she met Gideon's gaze for a fleeting moment. His eyes held grief, duty, and something deeper. Stick around to see what Lily discovers about Gideon that changes everything. Jackal strutted into the dusty street, boots kicking up clouds, hand hovering over his iron. He'd gunned down 9 men here, their names etched into his pistol's grip like trophies. Gideon followed, steps steady, like a man who'd already seen his end and didn't flinch. The sun hung low, bathing Widow's Gulch in blood-red light. Lily watched from the saloon's porch, her heart hammering. Old Man Carver, the town drunk, hollered, $10 says the trapper's dead before he draws. Laughter followed, but it died when Gideon stepped into the light. His eyes held no doubt, only a focus that made Jackal falter. "You look familiar," Jackal said, squinting. "We met before?" Gideon's voice was a low rumble. "Canyon Pass, 6 years back. You rode with the Iron Fang crew." Jackal's face paled. Canyon Pass was a massacre, 20 settlers slaughtered, wagons torched, gold stolen. 1 scout survived, pointing fingers that sent 3 of Jackal's men to the noose. "You're that scout," Jackal whispered, his bravado cracking. "The one who wouldn't die." Gideon's hand, missing a finger from an old wound, hovered near his gun. "I saw you put a bullet in my brother's back." The crowd sensed the shift. This wasn't just about Lily. This was vengeance, raw and old. Jackal's men, scattered among the spectators, exchanged glances. Lily saw Jackal's slight nod, and her stomach dropped. He'd never fight fair. Keep watching. Jackal's next move sets off a chain reaction you won't believe. A rifle cracked from a rooftop before Lily could shout. Gideon dove, the bullet grazing his shoulder, splintering the hitching post behind him. The crowd scattered, but Gideon rolled to his knees, revolver drawn, and fired. Amos Reed toppled from the roof, his rifle clattering into the dust.
Jackal cursed and drew, but Gideon's second shot caught his gun hand, sending his weapon spinning.
"Should have played square," Gideon said, advancing, barrel aimed at Jackal's heart.
But the trap wasn't done.
Two of Jackal's men stepped from the feed store, rifles trained on Gideon's back.
Lily's scream died in her throat as the town's courage wavered. Then Widow May, the seamstress who'd lost her son to Jackal's gang, stepped forward, shotgun trembling but steady.
"No more," she said, voice cracking the silence. One by one, others joined Tom the barkeep, Ellie the schoolmarm, even Deputy Walsh, his badge tarnished but his resolve fresh.
"We're done cowering," Walsh said, aiming at Jackal's men.
Jackal clutched his bleeding hand, his empire crumbling.
"You think this ends it?
My crew burn this town to ash." Gideon grabbed him by the collar, gun pressed to his temple.
"Your crew's gone.
"I saw your lieutenant swing in Yuma last spring." The lie was smooth, shattering Jackal's hold. His men lowered their rifles, doubt creeping in. "Leave," Gideon said, voice final.
"Or the marshal gets your name."
Jackal's eyes darted, calculating, but Lily saw madness glinting. As he stumbled toward his horse, his path veered toward the church, where the town's children hid. "The kids," she whispered, terror rising. "Wait, this moment leads to a revelation that'll leave you speechless." Gideon spun as Jackal kicked open the church door, a hidden knife gleaming in his good hand.
"New deal, Scout," Jackal snarled, blocking the doorway. "I take one brat, you stay back, or they all bleed." Inside, Lily saw small faces behind pews. Jenny Tate, 6 years old, the baker's twins, the preacher's son. Miss Clara, the teacher, stood before them, unarmed but fierce. "You're a monster," Gideon said, voice low. Jackal grinned. "I'm a winner." Lily stepped forward, heart pounding. "Take me," she called. "Leave the kids." "You want a prize? I'm it." Gideon grabbed her arm. "Lily, no." She shook him off. "This started with my brother's debts. It ends with me." Jackal hesitated, weighing her offer. Then Jenny Tate, pigtails trembling, stepped out. "Mister, you're hurt. My pa says hurt folks do bad things 'cause they're scared. We got soup." Her small voice cut through, and for a split second, Jackal's mask slipped, a flicker of humanity in his eyes. That was enough. Gideon moved like lightning, his damaged hand steady, firing. The knife flew from Jackal's grip, and he crumpled, clutching his shoulder. But Jackal's other hand pulled a bundle from his vest, a fuse sparked to life. "If I go, you all go," he hissed, clutching dynamite. The fuse burned fast, 3 seconds left. Gideon roared, out, shoving Miss Clara and the kids toward the windows. He lunged at Jackal, but the outlaw held the dynamite tight, eyes wild. Lily, instead of running, threw herself at Jackal, pinning the explosive. "You'll kill me first," she said, voice steady. 2 seconds. Gideon couldn't disarm it. With a desperate heave, he grabbed both, hurling them toward the church's stone cornerstone to contain the blast. He shielded Lily as Jackal's eyes widened, realizing his doom. The explosion shattered the church's front, dust and splinters choking the air. Silence fell, heavy as death. Then coughing, cries, and shouts as the town rushed forward. Widow May pulled debris away, revealing Lily, battered but alive, shielded by Gideon's frame. He was bloodied, a beam across his back, but breathing. Jackal lay still, his own weapon his end. But there's more. Lily's about to uncover a truth that changes everything. As May tended Gideon's wounds, Lily's fingers brushed a locket beneath his shirt. She opened it, gasping. The face inside was her mother's, and scrawled on the back, "To my Lily, my light, forever, Pa." Her breath caught. "You're my father?" Gideon's eyes, wet with dust and regret, met hers. "I left you with your aunt when your ma died. Thought you'd be safer. I was wrong." Lily's voice broke. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I was a coward," he whispered. "War broke me. I thought you'd hate the man I'd become. But when I heard Jackal had you, I couldn't fail you again." Tears blurred her vision. She'd grown up thinking her father was dead, lost to a mining accident. Now he was here, scarred and haunted, but alive. Deputy Walsh approached. "Marshal wants you, Gideon. Big reward for the Iron Fang." Gideon only saw Lily. "I don't deserve you, but I want to try. Be your pa again." Lily took his hand. "Lily Harper's gone. Maybe Lily Holt can start fresh." As the sun dipped, they walked toward Blackthorn Ridge, ready to mend what was broken. But the story doesn't end here. Something from Gideon's past is coming back, and it's bigger than Jackal's gang. The next day, Widow's Gulch buzzed with new life. Jackal's men had scattered, the town's fear lifting like morning fog. Children played in the streets, their laughter a sound no one had heard in years. Lily and Gideon settled into his small cabin on the ridge, its walls lined with traps and memories. As Lily unpacked her few belongings, she found a letter tucked inside her mother's old shawl, yellowed but sealed. Her hands trembled as she opened it. "My dearest Lily," it began, in her mother's hand. "If you're reading this, I'm gone, but your father lives. He's a good man, broken by war and loss. Find him, and forgive him.
There's more you must know. Ask him about the Iron Fang's last raid. Lily's heart raced. She turned to Gideon, who was sharpening a knife by the fire.
Pa, what happened after Canyon Pass? Ma's letter says there's more.
Gideon's hand stilled, his face darkening. Some things are better buried, Lily.
But she pressed. I deserve to know. What did the Iron Fang take that's still out there? He sighed, eyes distant. Gold. Enough to buy a town.
We tracked them to a cave in Redstone Canyon, but only I made it out. The army sealed it, thinking it was cursed.
Jackal was after it, always was. Lily's eyes widened. Is it still there? Gideon nodded. But it's blood money.
Men died for it, good men, bad men.
I swore I'd never touch it.
Wait till you hear what Lily decides. It'll keep you up at night.
That night, Lily couldn't sleep.
The idea of the gold gnawed at her. Widow's Gulch was poor, families starved, the school lacked books, the clinic had no medicine. That gold could rebuild the town, give kids like Jenny a future.
But Gideon's warning echoed, blood money brought curses.
At dawn, she found him outside, staring at the horizon.
Pa, we could use that gold. Not for us, for the town. Gideon's jaw tightened. You don't know what it costs.
I lost my brother, my men, chasing that gold.
Lily stood firm. We're not them. We can do right by it.
He looked at her, seeing her mother's fire in her eyes.
All right, he said finally. But we do it careful. And you stick by me.
They saddled horses and rode for Redstone Canyon, the wind carrying whispers of danger.
The cave's entrance was hidden behind boulders, sealed by time.
As they pried stones loose, a distant hoofbeat made Gideon stiffen. We're not alone, he muttered, drawing his revolver.
Lily's heart pounded. Who else knew about the gold?
Keep watching to see who's hunting them and what's waiting in that cave. Inside, the cave was a maze of shadows, the air damp and heavy. Gideon's lantern cast flickering light on walls carved with strange symbols, warnings, maybe, or markers. Lily clutched her mother's letter, her only anchor. This feels wrong, she whispered.
Gideon nodded but pressed on.
At the cave's heart, they found it, crates of gold bars, glinting like sin. But beside them lay bones, dozens, picked clean. The Iron Fang, Gideon said, voice hollow. They turned on each other. Before Lily could speak, a voice echoed from the entrance.
Well, ain't this a family reunion?
It was Cole Vance, Jackal's older brother, thought dead in a prison break. His men fanned out, rifles gleaming. You led us right to it, Holt, Cole sneered. Now step aside, or your girl gets a bullet. Gideon's gun was steady, but they were outnumbered.
Lily's mind raced. How had Cole known?
Then she saw it, a scrap of her mother's letter, torn in Cole's hand. You followed us, she said, stalling.
Cole laughed.
Your ma was clever, hiding that map in her words.
Shame she married a coward. Gideon's eyes narrowed. You killed her, didn't you? The influenza was a lie. Cole's grin was answer enough.
Rage flared in Lily, but Gideon's hand on her shoulder kept her still.
Not yet, he whispered.
What happens next is a showdown you won't see coming. Stay till the end. Cole's men closed in, but Lily spotted a loose rock above the entrance.
Pa, the cave, she hissed. Gideon nodded, understanding.
He fired a shot at the ceiling, not Cole, and the rock gave way, collapsing the entrance in a roar of dust. 2 of Cole's men were buried, but Cole and 3 others ducked clear. In the chaos, Gideon grabbed Lily, pulling her behind a crate. Bullets ricocheted, gold glinting in the crossfire.
You can't run forever, Holt, Cole shouted.
Lily's eyes darted to the dynamite Jackal had carried. Had Cole brought more? She crawled toward a fallen pack, finding a single stick, fuse intact.
Pa, cover me, she whispered. Gideon fired, keeping Cole pinned.
Lily lit the fuse, hands shaking, and hurled it toward Cole's men. The explosion shook the cave, collapsing a wall and trapping 2 more. Cole roared, charging through the dust, his knife aimed at Lily. Gideon tackled him, the 2 men grappling in the dirt. Lily grabbed a gold bar, heavy as guilt, and swung, catching Cole's temple.
He crumpled, alive but out. Gideon panted, blood dripping from a cut.
You're your mother's daughter, he said, pride in his eyes. But the cave groaned, cracks spreading.
We gotta go, Lily said, grabbing his arm.
They left the gold cursed, as Gideon warned, and scrambled out as the cave collapsed, sealing Cole and his greed inside. The truth about Lily's mother and the gold's curse is just the start. Wait for the final piece. Back in Widow's Gulch, the town hailed them as heroes. The marshal took Gideon's statement, promising a reward for exposing the Iron Fang's remnants. Lily stood by the rebuilt church, her mother's letter in hand. She wanted us to find each other, she told Gideon. He nodded, eyes soft. I lost her, lost you.
I won't lose you again. Lily smiled. We've got time now, Pa. They rebuilt the cabin, the town pitching in.
Widow May brought soup, Jenny Tate drew pictures, and Deputy Wolf swore to clean up the badge.
But Lily kept one secret, a single gold coin, tucked in her pocket.
Not for wealth, but a reminder good can come from pain if you choose it.
As the sun set, father and daughter sat on the ridge, watching the stars. What's next, Lily Holt? Gideon asked. She grinned. A new story, Pa. One we write together. Want more tales of courage, secrets, and redemption? Click the next video, because what's coming will grip your heart and change you forever. And comment below. Would you have taken the gold, or left it buried? Let me know, because Lily's choice might haunt her yet.